Welcome back to the PB&J podcast. Today we have a good one for you. We're doing two top 10 lists. We're going to do top 10 leaders and top 10 clutch athletes of any sport of all time.
If it were up to Josh, we would have only done the one. But yeah.
But I don't think it'll take us that long. Me and James don't. So,
Listen, I just am planning ahead for future podcasts.
we're thinking about doing an episode like this once a week. But we'll see how it goes today and go from
we'll
there.
see how well received it is.
Yep.
Because we have so many fans.
So many. I think we have 4
We're already
subscribers.
Very, very good sample size to choose from.
We really already have 4 subscribers. That's dope.
I think I subscribed twice on accident.
We do. We have 4 subscribers.
Yeah. All right. So who wants to...
Did you just say you subscribed on accident?
No, twice. I did with my school account, but I don't watch
Okay.
YouTube on my school account.
I was
but-
gonna say, how do you subscribe to your own channel by accident?
Yeah, the channel is It's not PB&J. It's Podcast Bros and James. So if you wanna look for it, that's where it is. This is probably be not our first podcast.
Yeah, so let's jump right into
So
the
let's
top
jump
10
right in.
list on
Which
this
one do
cold,
you wanna-
rainy
which one do you-
Thursday.
Yeah, it's a shitty day. Which one do you want to do first?
I don't know. I got both done. So
I got
today
both. I have
we
9 for the leaders, but I have 10 for clutch.
yeah, so we did top 10 leaders in all sports and then top 10 clutch performers. I don't know. Let's start with leaders because we talked about this yesterday, the leadership roles and some of the
Yeah,
players.
that was a big topic yesterday. So
Yeah.
going 10 to 1, I assume.
Yeah, let's go 10 to 1.
All right.
So wait, actually, I just want to address this first. The way I did my list was I kind of did like a top 5, and then I kind of put like honorable mentions at the end, players that weren't necessarily the best, but like should be noted.
I thought of doing honorable mentions, but I didn't. So. All right,
I mean, they're still like good leaders. It's just
start us off, Josh.
all right. So my number 10 for leaders was Jackie Robinson.
Okay. Any?
Well, he just
Development.
he opened the door for a lot of people to play sports. I think without him,
I would
He
say
ki-
it's
he
more
kinda led the
influential
way.
than a leader.
Yeah, he's real influential.
yeah, but I think he also kind of like led that whole new wave.
He's more of a leader
pro
in
sports.
I can see leader in the black community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a leader in the culture.
Yeah,
and
not
the
necessarily
momentum
like
he had.
on his own team, but more of like a whole sports kind of leader. He kind of led that push, I think.
I was
Okay,
under the
whatever.
assumption that we were doing just sports, not like.
All right, it's whatever.
Well, yeah, but like he led it for sports.
I didn't have a 10, so James
In a
can
way.
go for 10, so we finish all at the same time.
For leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working on that actually.
All right, so we'll go to number 9. Josh, go ahead.
All right, my number 9. You guys aren't gonna like this, but it's Peyton Manning.
I can see that.
I think he did some good leadership, especially when he changed over to the Broncos after his neck injury and everything.
Defense won that championship.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about his
1000%.
championship, but I'm just talking about how he like kind of grew on a new team there, and he kind of led him. I mean, yeah, playing wise, the defense won that game for him,
For
but
sure.
he was a good leader.
I went Tim Duncan, number 9.
Tim Duncan, number 9.
Just because he's that older guy on a younger team, he helped. Everyone like Manu and Tony were like, yeah, he was a big leader on our championship teams once David Robinson left, and I think he took that role well, and he helped them develop a lot.
Yeah, Tim never repeated a championship, but I think what's most impressive is that he was able to win. He was not only winning championships within like 3 different decades, but he was also
With different
starting.
teams.
He was starting in on the same team in 3 different decades. He won in the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s, which really is what impresses me most about his leadership qualities.
Do you have a number 9 yet? We really
No.
should have done clutch first because you're done.
Yeah,
with your
my clutch
list.
my clutch list, it just needs a number 1. So
Oh, we really messed this up.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll just keep going.
James can do his clutch list, leaders list after. Leaders list.
All right, so
Number 8. Number 9. Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Okay, I had to get at least one hockey player in the leaders list, so I chose Chara.
Okay.
I think he's a good leader for the Bruins. He's been there a long time. He's one of the guys that is not necessarily the best at his position, but he's the best
I have a
like,
Bruins player as well.
smarts wise.
Different Bruins player, but he's
Really?
further down the list. Tell you who it is later.
Further up the list. All right.
My number 8 was Kevin Youkilis.
All right, that's a good pick. Yeah.
Yeah, it just everyone you think that Red Sox team in the late 2000s and early 2000 teens, everyone thinks of David Ortiz and John Lester and Dustin Pedroia and stuff like that. Dustin Pedroia is a great leader too. Forgot about him, but Kevin Youkilis was like David Ortiz was more like the big character on the team. Kevin Youkilis was the behind the scenes leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I struggled with this a little bit actually.
I struggled with this one.
So I
too.
was looking online And Kevin
did.
Youkilis, I saw his name a few times.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
Bleacher Report helped me with that one. James has a number
Bleacher
10.
Report had a lot of good
Dude,
top
I do
10
have a number
lists.
10 now. Coming in
for
at number
it.
10 on my list is actually LeBron James. And he would be higher, but due to his lack of final success, I mean, as much as I love LeBron, and it is mostly his team's fault, I think he deserves to be on the list in some capacity because LeBron is always able to elevate his team. I mean, none of the Lakers that last season, but that's just because he was injured, and so was like everybody else on the team. But I mean, as we saw in the 2018 Cavs, that team was god awful. I mean, they had
Trash.
horrible players who wouldn't have even made the playoffs without LeBron, and they ended up being a top seed in the East.
Right.
And that, I mean, the East is weak, but that team wouldn't have even made the playoffs without
As
LeBron.
much as I love LeBron, I do not have him on my list.
I just think everybody speaks so highly of him as a leader, and you can see it on the court the way he's a general on the floor. And I think sometimes he takes it too far with the way the coaching is and all that stuff. But I just feel like it's disrespectful to not have him because he is such a good leader, and he's so.
I didn't put him on any of my lists because I knew you guys were going to cover it. I mean, I definitely think he should be on a list for leaders, but
I
I
have
didn't
him
put
on
him
a
on mine.
list if you can guess. You know, you should be able
Yeah.
to. Number 7.
Number 7. Okay, so this one isn't a player, but a good leader for the NFL is Vince Lombardi.
See, I was thinking if we could do coaches, and I wasn't sure, so I didn't.
I just went for it. I put
didn't
Vince Lombardi
I was
down.
thinking more players.
He was one of the guys that I saw on repeat lists when I was doing some research last night. He was always coming up.
Trophy's also named after him.
Yeah, so I mean that gotta show something.
My number 7 was, I have 2 hockey players. My number 7 was Sidney Crosby. As much
All right,
flack
yeah.
as he gets for being a baby and whatever, he's been the captain of the Penguins for years, and they win consistently, and they're a top team in the Eastern Conference in hockey year after year because of him. I mean, they have great talent in him and Malkin too, but I think Crosby is a good leader for that team.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
James, you have a number 7?
My number 7 is Bill Russell, and he would be higher. I think the 11 championships really speaks a lot about what he did for that team and how they stopped winning those championships as soon as he left. But because it was such a weak era, he isn't rated as highly as I think some other people might have rated him.
I like that. I have Bill Russell on my other list with a cool stat for him, but I'll save it.
Sounds good.
Bill
All right.
Russell.
Number 6, right?
Number 6.
Is that what we're on?
Yes.
My list is messed up because I don't have a number 2. So
All right,
numbers
my
are off.
number 6 is Shaq. I put Shaq as my number 6 because I think even when he was away from Kobe, he was a good leader.
He was a good leader. He's always been a
Yeah.
good influence on the young guys and even the old guys. He's just a good locker room presence.
I think
also-
he's a little bit higher than he should be, but
but you
I
had to
think
include
he's
him.
Yeah, good leader.
He's also a leader now, even though he's not playing. He's still pretty influential for the young players. He still helps them out a lot. He's on 2K. Barbecue chicken alert. My number 6 was Drew Brees.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just because I feel like he's good at rallying his team. Anytime they need a late drive, especially and if you watch the game on Monday, they had like 32 seconds and he got him downfield for that field goal. And that's something that a leader does, especially in football, is you can get a team and run a great 2-minute offense, and he can. And he's done it for so long, and he has such good stats. For
That's
so long.
That's a good one to put on this list. I think he's underrated as a leader. That's a good one.
for sure.
I have a number 6. Lou Will on the Clippers, the 6th man of the year. I think the energy he brought to the playoffs last year really excellently displayed how good of a leader he was because he was able to. I mean, he carried that team for some games, but then he also came off the bench and he showed the other team kind of who's boss, and he brought the energy that made his teammates feel good and want to play. Even if they were down, to make his teammates want to play with their heart out and play to the buzzer, which I think is great leadership qualities.
How old is Lou Will?
He's in his 30s now.
30s.
Yeah, his career doesn't have too much time left, but I think he's definitely still going to be a difference maker on the team.
Right. All right. Number 5.
I think next week we should do the worst leaders and the least clutch
I was
players
thinking
in
about
sports.
that.
Yeah.
After I said Drew
It's gonna be
Brees,
a lot
I thought
harder
of
list.
someone, but
Oh no! The worst leaders and the least clutch players, dude. Pff, no way. That's gonna be an easier
Yeah,
list.
I
I
guess-
got
now that I
number. I
think
got
about it,
number
yeah.
1 for both lists already.
All right.
Easy.
So are we on to number 5?
Yeah, number 5.
All right, number 5. I don't know if you guys are gonna like this one either, but I put Ray Lewis.
I saw that on One
Yeah.
of the sites he was number 2. I was like,
I don't think he's as high as number 2, but I think he was a solid leader. As far as defensive players go, you don't see a lot of
on the
defensive leaders
field.
out there.
On the field, yes. 1,000%.
Yeah, he was a good hype guy for his teammates. I mean, he was always out there working his hardest. You know what I mean? When the other guys were just kind of slacking off, I feel like he deserved to be on this list. I think.
My number 7 or 5. What are we on? 5.
Five, yeah.
7 and 5. Was Patrice Bergeron. That's the Bruins player.
All right, yeah.
If Zdeno Chara would have, he should be the captain of the Boston Bruins. It should not be Zdeno Chara, and if Zdeno Chara wasn't playing, because he shouldn't, he's 40 years old and he can barely skate. It should be Patrice Bergeron. One, he's more, and I know leaders just aren't talent. He's more talented, but he's also a better leader. Like in that, he's a first line player all year, every year, and he leads that line to success. Minus this year's playoffs, they sucked. But he's a great defensive player, and his presence just makes everyone better, which I feel like is a good leadership quality. He has three Selkies, which is defensive forward of the year in hockey, which I feel like is a great thing. But also in the when I was talking about greatest comebacks, that series against the Maple Leafs, he led that team to the comeback, which I think was great. So I don't know. That's just I'm a big Patrice Bergeron guy.
You know, Chris, real quick, I have a question for you. When you wear a sweatshirt, do you wear a shirt under it?
Always.
James and I were talking about this
Yeah, we talked
yesterday.
about this yesterday. We Josh and I didn't know if you do.
Always.
Always. Okay, good.
He won one today, so I mean.
It's just
Oh,
because
I didn't
never,
even see him wear a sweatshirt today.
But-
Is it
I
just
know-
because I never take it off?
No,
Well, no, but a lot of people
Josh
like
just-
wear sweatshirts, but they don't wear like a T-shirt underneath it.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah,
that.
Josh
I
was saying
always
he
do.
thought you didn't wear a shirt.
No, always.
Yeah,
I think I did
do.
it like
I think
once.
it's a chick thing to not wear a shirt
It's-
under a
or
sweatshirt.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
if I'm just like lazy at night, or if I have to get up and there's just a sweatshirt right there and I don't have my shirt on, I'll just throw it on. Or if I'm lazy at night, I just throw it on.
Oh yeah, like I'll wear just a sweatshirt to bed, but that's different than wearing it out. But anyways, back to the list.
Do you have number 5?
I do not.
All right.
I don't have a 5 or 4, but I have a 3, 2, and 1.
All right, so we'll just go number 4.
All right, number 4. My number 4 was Tim Duncan. We talked about him yesterday.
He should be higher on both of your lists.
I put him as number 4. Chris had him at like
You guys-
9.
I know you guys. I should have given Chris more crap for it, but you guys make me sick.
I had him as number 4. That's top 5.
He should be at least top 2.
Yeah, no, I guess.
All
I
right,
should-
but
I
wait
guess-
till
I
you
guess I
hear
should've
my
put
top
him-
3.
I guess I should have
It's
put
pretty
him
hard
at
to beat.
least 7. Curtis with him in City.
All right, Chris, you're number 4.
My number 4 was Kevin Garnett. And I saw something that he wasn't necessarily the peacemaker in the locker room, but he never was afraid to call someone out if they weren't doing their job.
That's good leadership. That's an
a great,
underrated
that's
quality.
a great leadership
And
quality.
You know what I saw last year? I forget who it was, but there was some guy on the team who called out one of his teammates, and the media was just chewing him out for it. They were saying, you shouldn't call out your teammates. That's bad leadership. That's bad. That's being a bad teammate. But a good leader is not afraid to call out their teammates and tell them you're doing that wrong. And
Right.
I'm not afraid to let everybody know that you're doing it.
Wasn't there a story about him in Minnesota or Brooklyn where he did that to someone? Oh, it was in Minnesota when he was like sitting on the end of the bench. He was like player coach really, and he called someone out, and everyone's like, he was too hard on him. I think that was a great. I think that's a great thing.
Like,
to not be afraid to be like you're not doing your job.
I think as long as he
and
does it
start doing your job.
constructively and helps the person or the younger player out, I think
Well,
it's
he's
a
not-
good thing.
well, yeah,
but if
that's
he's
what
like
he's doing. He's-
abusing,
yeah, it's not
criticizing,
like
then-
the dude hits a shot and he goes, "Oh yeah, you suck. I hope you don't
Yeah.
make the team next year." Like obviously that's bad leadership, but you see that in coaches too. You know, they're not afraid to be hard on a player. You have to be hard on the players to make them strive to be
for
the
sure,
best.
for sure. So you don't have a number 4. You have 3,
I
2,
do
1.
not have. I have 3, 2, and 1. But
Josh has informed me that me and Josh have the same 3, 2, 1, but in a different order.
Yeah. So my number 3 was Derek Jeter.
Okay.
I put him as number 3.
All right.
Chris, what was your number 3?
My number 3 was Kobe Bryant.
All right, Kobe Bryant.
Do you want to elaborate on Derek Jeter at all? Because I have a reason. He's not my number. He's my top 2.
Yeah. So I put Kobe as number 2. So we just switched those 2.
We'll let James go number 3.
Yeah, James, what's your number 3?
my number 3 is Scottie Pippen.
I like it.
That's a good one.
Just because Jordan was 1-9 in the playoffs without him, and even though in the 94-95 season, they did lose in the playoffs to the Magic with Scottie Pippen and Jordan. I still think Jordan would not have won nearly as many, if not any, rings at all without Pippen.
That's your
And
GOAT.
that's-
1-9 in the playoffs. That's your GOAT.
Although I will say this, I was thinking about this last night. I feel like we don't give Jordan enough credit. I think we should do a Jordan appreciation episode.
Yeah. I mean, the Jordan. people who
The Jordan hype is too much, but I feel like
the reason I don't like Jordan is because of the Jordan fans that don't even entertain the LeBron Jordan conversation.
yeah. But I think as a person myself, I don't give Jordan enough credit. But that's
Yeah,
not
that's
the
true.
point. Anyway,
As a basketball fan, I don't
so who were your Chris? Your number 3 was Kobe.
Kobe.
And my number 2 was Kobe.
So who's your number 3, Josh?
My number 3 was Derek Jeter.
My number 2 was Derek Jeter.
So who's your number 2, Chris?
Derek Jeter.
Oh, okay.
And my reason was his literal nickname was the Captain.
Yeah.
Can I
He
guess who
was-
both your number 1s are?
Go ahead.
Brady.
Yeah.
His nickname was the Captain for a reason. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're a good leader if your nickname is the Captain for however long he played. I'm not a Derek Jeter guy. I hate Derek Jeter.
Yeah, me
with a
neither. I was
passion.
never really a fan of him.
As a Red Sox fan, I hate Derek Jeter. But as a appreciator of sports and leaders,
He was a kick-ass leader.
He was.
Nice job, Chris.
I felt like that was a big moment for me to just admit that.
It's that was a real man is always able to admit when they're wrong.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Tom Brady.
Oh,
And that's
number
because
2.
that's
I mean, we
because
can understand why it's not, because number 1 is obviously Tim Duncan.
that's because Tom Brady was able to lead them to a championship in so many different decades with so many different players, and he's always been the heart of the team.
I mean, I kind of hit on why I said yesterday with the Super Bowl 51 take where he dove after that Robert Alford.
He's always willing to give it his 110% for the ball. For the win.
And the same reason I have with Drew Brees, his 2-minute offense and ability to lead in the fourth quarter and game-winning drives is otherworldly. It's phenomenal how he can get downfield, and even if they don't go out of bounds, he gets them up there in formation and sets the ball and either spikes it or runs a play without wasting like any more time than they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is an incredible mind. He's an incredibly smart person, and especially his football IQ is off the charts.
I do want.
I got nothing more to say about Tom Brady.
You can go.
He was my number 1.
My number 1, and I know this is gonna be a surprise. It's Tim Duncan.
Really?
Tim Duncan. I think just the fact that he was able to lead the Spurs to a championship in the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s, even in his aging state, and he was able to be. How much is it at?
95.
And even though he was aging, he was still able to do that. And even now, we see him as an assistant coach in the Spurs. And for the past few years, he's been active in the Spurs organization. It just shows how good his leadership is and how valued it is. I mean, if you watch videos of the Spurs teams, people are always going to listen. When Tim Duncan has something to say, dude, they always lean in. So Tim Duncan, he's not only my favorite player. I think he's the greatest leader of all time because in this competitive era of the NBA, he was able to win 5 championships.
He's Greg Popovich, the arguable one of the greatest coaches of all time, also added him to his coaching staff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Greg Popovich has so much respect for Tim Duncan. I think that really speaks volumes on how great of a leader and a person he is.
All right, so that was leaders.
Now let's get on the clutch.
Lot of good takes there, but I'm excited for clutch.
I'm
really
definitely excited for
Yeah.
clutch. That's gonna be a good one.
Right.
I think we should start with honorable mentions.
I don't have any.
Josh,
I don't have honorable mentions, but like the second half of my list is kind of honorable mentions.
Okay, so yeah, the 10 through 5 is.
I just saw
All right,
Josh's
so-
number 6, and I want to throw up.
Yeah. I was talking to James about this one earlier.
All
All right. So my number 10, I started off with the Legion of Boom.
Wait, don't you have honorable
No?
mentions?
I do have honorable mentions. So
Oh, okay.
Just list them off.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Malcolm Butler because of that catch he made in the Super Bowl. Kobe,
One play.
Yeah.
Kobe, because he's always able to hit the clutch shots in the fourth quarter, but he's not able to hit them when time is really running down to like 30 seconds. Mookie Betts, Derek Jeter, and Tim Duncan is actually in my honorable mentions.
Tim Duncan's in the honorable mentions, really.
He's not on the list.
Wow.
So let's start with number 10. Josh,
All right, so my number 10 was the Legion of Boom. Obviously, that Super Bowl is another defensive Super Bowl. And crazy, just all season, that season, they were just able to pull stuff out of their
Super
rear end.
Bowl
and-
48.
Yeah, the one against the Broncos.
Okay.
When
I was-
it
I
was
was
like the
proud
first
of it.
Super Bowl in forever that
It
a
was
quarterback
like,
hadn't
Cam
won the MVP.
Chancellor, Earl Thomas,
Richard Sherman.
and Brandon.
Yeah, Michael Bennett was on that
Brandon
team.
Browner, right?
Bobby Wagner.
All right.
Yeah, we all know the Legion of Boom, but they made number 10.
My number 10 is more recent player, and I think his clutch is not. I don't want to say underrated, but underappreciated. When you talk about grand scheme of clutch, I put Dame Lillard.
solid
Dollar
pick.
Dame.
Solid pick.
It's Dame time. Fourth quarter is Dame time. I mean, that shot against OKC alone could have landed him on this list. But I mean, go
But
through.
he does that regularly.
He-
Every
regularly,
season
right,
he's got
regularly.
shots like that.
It-
Multiple of them.
Right. That was my last addition. But I
Good
think it was a
addition.
solid.
That's
one.
a good one. I hadn't even thought of that. Josh, or my number 10 is Tiger Woods. because
Put him at
on my
number
list.
10.
When it-
He's on my
when it-
list, but he's not number 10.
when it comes down to it, Tiger Woods is gonna get you that.
He's gonna get it done.
gonna get that shot.
All right, number 9.
Good. All right, my number 9 was I don't know if you guys know him. He wasn't very popular, but he was on the Bleacher Report list that I kept seeing. Is Patrick Roy. He was a
I
goalie
saw
in
him
the
a couple
hockey.
times, yeah.
In the
Blackhawks.
hockey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had multiple stories where he came out on top in the playoffs. Like his playoff performance was what he was known for. And he had, I think, he's the only person to have a 3-time some kind of best in the playoffs award in the NHL.
Oh, Vesna.
Maybe, I don't know. But he was the only player to have it 3 times.
Goalie. I'm not sure.
But yeah, he pulled it out in the playoffs a
My
lot.
number 9 was someone I never got to watch, obviously, but it was Joe Montana. For the fact that I saw that he was 4-0 in Super Bowls, which
He's
is
on my list,
which
yeah.
is crazy stat.
He's on my list.
That was
too.
the only reason why. I wish I was old enough to actually watch him, but you hear about him and Brady as a like top
Yeah. Yep.
argument for best quarterback. So I mean, obviously 4-0 in Super Bowls.
Yeah, I never really
Stat.
backed up that argument with him and Brady, but I think it's for the same reason that I never saw Montana play. I think if I did see him play, then I would
For
definitely
sure,
back that
for
up.
sure.
My number 9 is Bill Russell.
Okay, I have him on my list.
I know you do.
Yeah, I wonder if do you have a stat for it? I have a stat on it.
I do not have any stats for it, but
Alright.
it's just because time and time again you'll see. I mean, Bill Russell. You hear about the block where he like ran up the court in some incredibly inhuman amount of time, and he's always just there for the team when they need him.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when Havlicek stole the ball.
Havlicek stole
Havlicek
the ball.
stole the ball. That's the one time Bill Russell messed up. But his teammates were there for him. It's number 8. Is that what we're on now?
Yeah, number 8.
My number 8 for clutch performers, you're not going to like this either because you're not soccer fans, but I put Ronaldo down.
Yes, yes. So I saw. a
He
bunch
was
of
also
soccer
on the
players
Bleacher
and I
Report
just
solid
list.
go past
Solid
it.
pick.
He-
I respect it.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know, there's not much to say. He's a clutch player.
Clutch player.
As far as soccer goes, he's a clutch player.
I don't know what
Always
clutch.
keeps his cool.
I don't know what clutch institutes in soccer because I'm not a soccer
Good,
fan.
good D
Just-
when they need
yeah,
it. and
being
is
able to score
those
the goals and
Yeah.
win the
Does he
games.
Does
And
he even play D? I thought like some positions in soccer don't play D. I thought if you
he's a
score, you don't
forward,
play
but
D.
he definitely has played D in his career.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
at some
you
point.
have to in soccer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
when
understand
when
soccer,
when
so-
you're a forward and they get the ball away from you, you can't just like not play.
Right. All right. I get it. My number 8 was Kobe.
Although I might be wrong about Ronaldo. I just want to put that out there. I have no idea about soccer, so I think I am
Yeah.
wrong. But anyways, yeah, Kobe for number 8.
Kobe. Yeah. No. I mean, you hit on it with your honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for that.
My number 8 was Bob Horry, Big Shot Bob, in the NBA. He's got 7 rings with multiple different teams. Just because he would only play in the fourth quarter because he was just that clutch. I mean, he sucked in the first 3 quarters, but when that clutch when time ran down, the score was close. They'd be like, "Hey, Bob, come on in."
When did he play?
He played.
Was he with?
He was on the Rockets in '95, and then he played with the Spurs for a bit and the Lakers. He was on all the teams in the West that ended up winning.
Like when was he like Kobe and Shaq or like?
Yeah, Kobe and
Okay.
Shaq. He was there in the '90s, early 2000s. Yeah, so that's my number 8.
7. Josh, you don't have it right now.
Nope.
Alright, I'll go.
No, I got it. My number 7 was Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, he's on my list.
Adam Vinatieri was a
Nice.
very clutch player. He made so many kicks that are going down in history. I
Won
mean,
3 Super Bowls
yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a clutch player.
and
Good pick.
the tuck rule game in the snow.
Yep.
That was a big one.
Very good pick.
My 7 is Bill Russell, and this has been a stat that's been on my mind since I found it. which I
Wait,
think
Chris,
is
do you have a
crazy.
stat for Bill Russell?
I have a
Do
stat
you?
for Bill Russell.
Okay, just clearing that up.
He's 10-0 in Game 7s.
Really, I didn't
10
know
and
that.
0.
Really?
Kevin, he's 10-0 in Game 7s. That's
Along
incredible.
with his 11,
Is that
he's 10
playoffs? Like
Playoffs.
the finals, or
Yeah,
just like
ridiculous.
playoffs in
best,
general?
best of 7 series is 3-3. He's 10-0 in Game 7s.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was a crazy stat.
That is pretty crazy, actually.
All right, that was my big stat on Bill Russell.
My number 7 is Joe Montana.
All right, I like it.
We already touched on it. He's
Yeah,
a good.
touched on it. 6.
Um,
Josh, you don't need to share your 6. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I hate.
Okay,
that.
yeah. My number 6 was Eli Manning and Co. Because it wasn't Eli Manning, but and Co. They,
It was
Together
David-
they
it
were a
was-
clutch
it was-
I don't know how they
David-
did it,
was
but
David
somehow they
Tyree.
pulled off.
It was David Tyree in his stupid helmet.
Yeah, but they that was clutch. Chris doesn't want me to keep talking about it, so Chris, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Tom Brady.
Ooh, that low.
Yeah, I just think there's more clutch players.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, I touched on it. His ability to lead a team in the fourth quarter in a game-winning drive and a 2-minute offense. But I don't know. I feel like they're too good to. The Patriots just are too good and have such a big lead too often for him to just constitute like top clutch of all time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, James.
My number 6, Ray Allen.
I had him on my list, but I took him off just because the only thing I can think of was the shot in Miami.
Understandable, yeah, for sure. But no, Ray Allen he's always getting those buckets. I mean, I saw this clip one time where Rondo set up a play so Ray Allen could get the ball at the end of the third quarter, and he had like 0.5 seconds to get it off, and he just chucked it up and it went in. It was a swish. So
Jesus Shuttlesworth right there.
yeah, I mean, Ray Allen. People don't talk about how clutch he was, or really they don't. The only thing they really talk about is the bang from the corner, but to tie the game. But he is an underrated clutch scorer.
Sure. Number 5. We got number 5.
My number 5.
I do have number 5.
My number 5 is Adam Vinatieri. Josh already hit on it.
That was disgusting.
Josh already hit on it, so I don't think I need to go further. But
My number 5 is Kawhi Leonard, because he's always going to get you those buckets in the fourth quarter when you need it, and he's always going to be able to make that gap. Just
you can also lock down D when you need it, which is clutch.
Yeah, exactly. He's able to get the steal. I mean, we saw that when DeRozan returned to Toronto when he was on the Spurs for the first time. He got the steal and sealed the game. So.
Or when he lost. Never mind.
What was that?
Chris just had a stroke in the middle of saying that.
Yeah, no, when he hit the game winner in Philly or against Philly, I thought he locked down Embiid, but he hit the shot. I just completely forgot that he was the one that made the shot.
All right, number 4.
Number 4.
My number 4 was Joe Montana.
Okay.
We already touched on him.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
did.
just clutch player.
Chris, number
Larry
4.
Bird.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah, good one.
I just saw a
Brady.
bunch.
Brady's my number 4.
Brady's your number 4. All
Brady's
right,
my number 4.
that's valid.
Of course.
All right.
That was a quick round 4.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. Who's number 3?
My number 3 was Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. That is a good one.
That's a good one. He kind of just defied all odds.
I
Nobody
like
really
that.
thought he was going to be a good boxer, fighter, anything. But he just kind of,
That's a good pick.
yeah, he was a good fighter, and he just kind of surprised people, I think. So he was a clutch guy.
You really just copied and pasted the Bleacher Report.
Pretty much, yeah. But they had a good list. I mean, I definitely changed it a little bit, but
I know. I'm just messing
He-
with you a little.
he deserved to be on there.
My number 3 is LeBron James.
I have a 2-way tie. So for
Big
number,
big
for
LeBron
number
guy.
2.
but-
I have a 2-way tie for number 2, so I don't have a number 3.
All right. Number 2.
You can't.
Let's touch on number 2.
You can do whatever you want.
You can't.
All
You
right.
can't.
You put a
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
put a coach in.
I did. I put a coach.
So there's clearly
And I
no
put an
rules
entire
there.
defense. So,
Yeah. So
all right. My number 2 is Tiger Woods. Is this the
Also-
first time he's been mentioned?
mine also.
I mentioned him at number 10.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
So,
also had him at number 2.
yeah, Tiger Woods, he keeps coming back, and
He's a
it's
guy.
unbelievable.
My 2-way tie. Chris, you said your number 2 was also Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger.
My 2-way tie for number 2 was Larry Bird and Dwayne Wade.
You're a big Dwayne Wade guy.
Well, I mean, if you know, if you're a Miami Heat fan and you've seen Dwayne Wade play through his whole career, you know just how many clutch shot he hits and how many game winners he's had. I mean, it's ridiculous how
I saw
clutch the
that
guy
game
is.
winner against.
Yeah, I mean,
Golden
I was
State.
there when
Yeah,
he
you
hit
were
the
there.
game winner against Golden State, banked it off the glass with like 0.5 seconds left. I mean, that's ridiculous. And he did it regularly. Like every single season, he was hitting 2 or 3 of those shots. Who else does that? And then
Well, you had him tied with Larry Bird. So.
Everybody knows about Larry Bird. I mean, my favorite Larry Bird story is when this guy bet Larry Bird. He was like, "I'll give you $50 if you can bank one off the glass in the game, a 3." And Larry Bird's like, "Okay." And then it's the fourth quarter, and Larry's on the bench, and the guy's like, "Larry, you never hit that shot." And he's like, "Oh man, I better go back in." And then the score. They were leading by 20, the Celtics, and then they're leading by 10, and they're leading by 5, and they're leading by 2, and then it's tied. And then then Larry's in because it's clutch time. He's playing. The score's winding down, and then he banks the shot in. Just to win that $50
I was
in clutch time.
Yeah.
Larry Bird. We
Ballsy.
also need to talk about how good he is. He
Ballsy.
played a game lefty.
Yeah.
And he dropped like 30.
Larry Bird was so good he would get bored.
Yeah,
He got bored and played a game
He
lefty.
used to make it interesting.
Yeah. So my number 1, I have a lot to elaborate on it. So I don't know if you want me to go last or if you just want to keep the same.
I feel like
order.
I should go last because I still don't have a number 1. I'm still
Oh,
thinking.
wait,
of it.
wait. I want to hear what it is first,
You
and then
can
we'll
go.
decide.
Nope. Go ahead.
All right, my number 1 was Tom Brady.
Is he
Big
number,
Brady fan.
Is he number 1 on both your lists?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
I don't know if he deserved to be number 1 on both the lists, but I just put him as number 1 on both the lists.
Yeah, I don't know about clutch for number 1 for Tom Brady.
He's definitely clutch. He's definitely on the list. I don't know about number
definitely
1,
clutch.
but I just kind of put him
Right,
there.
but number 1, I don't know.
Recently, he's become way more of a clutch player than he did before, even in regular season games. I mean, he's making fourth quarter comebacks that are, close to not being made.
Right. My number 1, it might be a little biased just because I'm a Red Sox fan. It's David Ortiz.
Really elaborate.
As in, you put him as clutch player?
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
You know how
definitely
many-
elaborate on this.
Go back. He won the 2013 World Series MVP because he hit that home run when it was tied in like game against the Tigers. He just put it was like they needed a home run and he put one into the bullpen. It was crazy. And then I saw a stat that he hold on, let me find it. It was on the Chromebook. I'm gonna find it. It was
That's a good point, though. I mean, when you needed a home run,
David
your
Ortiz.
guy.
It was David Ortiz.
Bro,
Yeah, I
now
definitely
you would
wouldn't
just-
think of him as a good player. I mean, a clutch player. He's definitely a good player, but when you say clutch player, he doesn't come to mind. But
But he is.
further thinking into it, yeah, he is. He definitely is.
That's interesting. Yeah, he's always going to get
I
you
would
a
think of
dinger.
him as more of like the all-star than the clutch, but he's definitely is a clutch player. now that you-
23 career walk-offs, I think.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
mad because
it
I
was
just thought of a really
23.
good leader.
I
so.
think in order to be a clutch player, well, when you think of a designated hitter, that is a clutch player. You know what I mean?
And
I think in order to be a designated hitter, you have to be a clutch player because that's your entire job is to hit the
You
ball
just have to
far.
be a good hitter. You know, I mean, it's not like they're really playing in like super clutch time.
And then in 2000,
Yeah, but I think that you're like when your team needs a run or they need a hit, you're the guy that they're going to look to make that, and that's clutch if you can pull that off.
you remember
Good point.
when I was talking about 2004 and the greatest comeback, going back to that, when it was the Red Sox and Yankees, Game 4, he hit the game winner, or else the series would have been over. He hit the game winner, Game 4, which led them onto that comeback. So
Interesting point. I like that.
constitutes clutch for me.
So coming in at number 1 on my list is LeBron James. But it's a two-way tie for number 1.
Another two-way tie.
Josh. But yeah, it's LeBron. But I honestly don't know who he's tied with. I don't have anybody else. I know it's a tie because LeBron is not the most clutch player ever. Because there's definitely someone else who's as clutch as him. But I just think clutch is so much more than just hitting the shots when you need it. It's being there for the team every single game. And LeBron is there for the team. I mean, when they need him to go off and score 50, he'll do that. We saw that in game one of the 2018 finals. I mean, he went off, scored 50 points, and
J.R. Smith ruined it.
yeah, and they lost. But I mean, that was through no fault of LeBron's.
Who's your other one?
Good number one.
I don't have another.
He didn't have a tie.
Yeah,
but
I
he
mean,
was
I just
number
know
one.
that there's somebody I can't think of their name right now. But
I just thought of a good honorable mention for clutch players, and you guys aren't gonna like this one because James just mentioned LeBron James, but I think Steph Curry deserves to be on there.
He
0-7
can't hit
in
clutch
clutch
shots, dude.
Yeah, but think about the points that he can go out and score so many points and just dominate the
he's
game.
there for the team up until the fourth quarter.
That's a
You
that's
don't
a-
think he should be on there?
that's a freezing
I mean,
cold
he's-
take.
I'll be honest, he's very clutch at the free throw line, but
Mm-hmm.
when you need him to hit a shot in game, under pressure with a hand in your face, or even an open three, he doesn't do it. He's not there.
You said you came up with a good leader, right?
Yogi Berra.
He's a Yankees guy. I don't even know
Yogi Berra.
anything about
He
him.
was just a great leader. He always worked as hard as he could to do everything the team needed. He was gritty. He was willing to put the work in off the field and do everything the team needed that no one else was willing to do. You know, he was just one of those guys.
Good list. Good list.
James, what does your shirt mean? What is that?
Jeffster is actually from the acclaimed show Chuck that was on probably a decade ago at this point.
Oh yeah,
Door just open.
it looks like a rock band.
Yeah, well, it is a rock band, but it's like fake. It was just
Oh,
these
like
two,
in the movie.
yeah, it was these two guys who were on like the Geek Squad. You know that from like Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were in that, and they like had their own band. It was called Jeffster because one of the guys' name was Jeff, and the other one was Lester, so it was Jeffster.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and their covers are actually pretty fire.
neat. So who just opened the door? What was that?
No clue.
Oh, okay. We're being stalked.
We're gonna get murdered. Yep.
All
All right.
right.
That was a very fun topic. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
And then, so next week we're doing least and least clutch players and least or worst.
Better start my
leaders.
list now.
We'll have more time to make the list, though,
Yeah,
so
we
it'll be
will.
better.
Yeah, James sprung this idea on us last night, so. And then he
Why
didn't
is
even make his
everything
own
my
list. Then he didn't even make his own list.
Yeah, sorry, I
Can
actually
you
have a
believe
life,
this guy?
Josh.
Wow.
Least
All right.
worst.
Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up. How much time do we have left?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, James.
Seriously, that took the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I was like expecting to go into another topic.
Kevin, who
but
do you
we,
think is the most clutch player of all time in overall sports?
LeBron's the most clutch player, any sport ever. Just all the big shots.
any
he makes.
sport?
Any sport ever. Number one, hands down. He's just all the shots he makes. Just is even before the fourth quarter, Like he can put up 50 and 3/4 if he really wanted to, but he wants to be more of a playmaker and get his teammates involved.
All right, how about leader? Who's the all-time leader? You got one?
Probably have to go with Tom Brady. Just all the
Big Tom Brady fans in here.
Yeah.
all the championships
We are
he's
New
won with all the different people that have been on his team. Even like the star players, he's had so many different star players on his team that he's passed to.
He also welcomed Antonio Brown into his house to get settled into.
And he
yeah.
did that with Josh Gordon last year too.
Yeah.
Kevin really went there.
He's a very
Good job, Kevin.
team-oriented guy.
Yeah, he is. So
I guess
this is
Tom
some
Brady's
good
one of those
lists.
guys that's on and off the field. We didn't really touch
Oh,
him
yeah,
off
for
the
sure.
field, did we? He
yeah, and
definitely
then
is.
You did with Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
James got mad, so he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I really.
Yeah, way to
got
go,
mad.
James.
I think I made some good points about
Yeah, way
why
to go, James.
he wasn't really a
Yep.
great sports
Okay, James.
leader.
Okay.
All right, James, let's not do that. All right. So, thank you for listening, everybody. I think this is it. Anybody got any closing remarks or anything?
No.
No. All right.
See you next
Toodles.
week for top 10. Toodles.